Hi guys, welcome back to hand analysis number 2. Today we've gone a bit old school and I've decided to have a look at a high stakes poker stream from many years ago when they used to play with blocks of cash, play for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it was all the absolute legends that kind of got me into poker. And yeah, it's just some wild hands that were played. Some hands that you would question today theoretically is mind-blowing, but yeah, there's just so much action in these games, played for hundreds of thousands, and yeah, all of these guys absolute legends. So let's hop into the action. We start with Antonius with a raise. Patrick Antonius, obviously well-known high-stakes player. He raises to 4,000. I'm not sure what the actual blinds were in this game. I presume there was some straddles as well. Jamie Gold, who was the main event winner and actually started the big poker boom, he goes with the re-raise with kings. Obviously very premium starting hand, second best hand you can get in this game, and folds around to Antonius, who I think has a pretty easy call based on the amount of chips that they have, or let's call it money. They're going to be playing very deep stack, so it's going to definitely be a profitable call. The flop comes out actually Queen 10-3 rainbow, and Antonius checks over to the aggressor, who is Jamie Gold. Jamie Gold puts out a c-bet of 15,000 c-bet into roughly 30,000. Antonius obviously has a very easy call with one overcard and a gut shot to the straight. Turn comes out, bingo card for Patrick. The king turns him Broadway straight, and unfortunately for Jamie Gold, actually gives him top set of kings and can't ever expect to be generally losing here. Then Antonius actually does something quite unconventional and donk bets out into Jamie Gold for 45,000 into 60,000. Jamie then decides to raise, and he actually just goes all in for like 350 something thousand. And of course, Antonius with the absolute nuts, snap calls. And what you see here is they decide to run the board 3 times, which basically, long story short, reduces the variance. So if you were to flip a coin, the chance is 50-50, but the first time you flip it, like obviously someone's going to win 100%. So the reason to run it more times is to get closer to the equity. So you can see that Antonius is a 77% favorite, Jamie Gold only 23, chance to win. So 3/4 of the time, basically, Antonius is going to win this hand. So they go to run 3 times. And yeah, the first 2 completely go the way of Jamie Gold, makes the full house, which is obviously insane. And then the third one, Antonius actually does hold up with the straight. So in this scenario, Jamie Gold wins 2 of the 3 boards, and a massive profit. I mean, 700,000 in the pot, you know, so it's like a mansion in most countries. So yeah, insanely big pot. We kind of break down a little bit of the hand, and although it's very unconventional from Antonius to lead the turn, does have some merit. So yeah, pre-flop, Antonius with ace jack, obviously a very premium hand, goes for the raise. Jamie Gold, you see on the video where he talks about like, oh, it's like aces, it's not aces.
It feels like aces.
Yeah.
I wish it was aces, but it feels like it.
I mean, if this is not portraying your hand strength, I don't know what is. Live reads are a thing. But yeah, this is like obviously a big giveaway to complete strength. I don't know if Jamie Gold did this regularly or if he just had big hands when he did this. But yeah, he's basically megaphoning, let's call it, to alarm that he has like an amazing hand. Antonius has, I think, he has like a couple of options. I think folding would be pretty weak in these games, and they're so deep stacked. He could actually re-raise again as a bluff if he thinks Jamie is potentially raising too many hands. And obviously call is completely fine as well. They're so deep, they can play a pot and even out of position is still profitable. As the flop comes down, queen 10-3, not really much for Antonius to do but to check over to Jamie. Jamie goes for continuation bet of just around half pot, and Antonius basically only has really one option, which is call. Raising would be, I guess, something, but who knows what these guys were thinking back in these days. And yeah, obviously folding's not possible with one overcard and the gut shot to the nut straight. He then does call, which I think is pretty normal play. Turn comes a king, and now starts a flush draw, and he decides to lead out for 45,000 into 60, which is a very unconventional line. You expect Jamie to pretty much always bet this turn once he's checked to, and in my opinion, I think this is kind of a big mistake from Antonius, but it kind of works out for him to get all the money in eventually. But in general, he's going to want to check and flow to him. Jamie's going to bet like a bunch of hands that has to call a raise, and you're generally going to inflate the pot massively as a check raise from Antonius. So Antonius does go for a lead out, and Jamie can do a couple of things here, calling and raising. I think raising makes the most sense because of the flush draw, and the combinations of hands that Antonius is going to lead out, I would say often contains something like Queen Jack for the straight as well. But yeah, I wouldn't have gone all in. He goes all in for like 300 and something thousand, which is like a very big overbet. But yeah, like I say, the way that people played back in these days is very different to how people play now, and these people were playing for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and some of these guys were the best players in the world at the time. So you have to give your hat off to these guys. They're all legends. Some of these guys still playing. Antonius still playing the Triton high roller events, so still at the top level of the game. As they get all the money in, obviously Antonius gets the good news as he goes all in, does cartwheels around the room, and he gets all the money in with a 77% favorite. They decide to do a little bit of business. Like I say, they're running 3 times, which means that there will be 3 lots of river cards dealt, and it just basically reduces their variance a little bit. So like I said, he's a 77% favorite. One of them is going to win 100% of the time on the river, so they're just running it 3 times to get the closest equity to the real equity. And you see this a lot in general high stakes, big cash games. People often run a turn or a river or pre-flop all in more than one time. It's not something you can do in tournaments because there only can be one run out in a tournament, but in cash games you do see a lot of this discussion taking place. And in other hands, when they do play for this much money, sometimes one of them will even offer them a chance to take some of their money back, and it's just down to the player's discretion at the time. They do run it 3 times, and Jamie wins 2 out of the 3, so very, very fortunate. It was only 23% chance to win and ends up winning 2 of the 3, so very, very fortunate for Jamie. And yeah, you can see the excitement from Jamie winning this hand, and Antonius drop basically. But yeah, these guys all complete legends. I would give Jamie, the way he played, a score out of 10 of maybe 7.5 out of 10, and I would give Antonius maybe a 6.5 out of 10, just because of that unconventional approach of what he took. It worked out for him great this time, but unfortunately did lose. But yeah, I'll always be quite honest in my opinion, and this hand, if you saw in today's age, would be unlikely that the person would lead out into the aggressor that has re-raised and pre-flop. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. It was a pretty wild hand, and yeah, $750,000 was in the pot. Absolute legends, all these guys. But yeah, really enjoyed this, and hope to do another one soon. So yeah, catch you all next time, guys, and good luck at the tables.